During each season, tropical storms and cyclones are named in alphabetical sequence of alternating female and male names. In 2010, there were 19 tropical storms and 12 hurricanes in the North Atlantic. Tropical cyclones are primarily stirred by the average flow in a deep atmospheric layer, modified by the increase of the Coriolis force toward the poles as the so-called Delta effect. When a steering flow is absent, the equatorial Delta effect causes a cyclone in the northern hemisphere to move toward the northwest. The Delta effect causes cyclones embedded in the tropical easterlies south of the subtropical ridge to move faster and slightly to the right of the steering flow. The speed of motion of tropical cyclones is generally 3 to 10 meters per second. The storms quickly dissipate over cool ocean surfaces, which cut off the heat supply, and over land, which reduces the moisture source and increases surface friction, slowing the air motion. Sometimes a tropical cyclone may turn poleward, recurving around the western end of the subtropical high-pressure ridge, and redeveloped in the westerlies as an intense mid-latitude cyclone. Thunderstorm. Thunderstorms are a category of severe weather that involves lightning, strong winds, and generally heavy precipitation. Although on occasion no precipitation will fall, single-cell thunderstorm typically develop when strong surface heating, an unstable atmosphere, and moist updrafts build towering cumulus and cumulonimbus clouds that can extend through the troposphere up to a height of 15 to 20 kilometers, 9 to 12 miles, that they have a diameter of 20 to 25 kilometers and a lifespan of an hour or less. The lower parts are made up of water droplets, while the tops are composed of ice crystals that may be blown by the upper winds into an oval shape. Falling droplets sweep up others and grow by accretion into large raindrops. Hailstorms may form on an ice nucleus of graphite, and the cloud becomes electrified, producing lightning. At the mature stage, there were warm updrafts and downdrafts of cool air generated by falling precipitation. There are three other types of thunderstorm: multi-cell clusters, multi-cell lines, and supercells. Multi-cell clusters comprise several storms in a cluster. Each cell may last only 20 to 30 minutes, while the overall system travels generally eastward and may last for several hours. Mature cells are present near the storm center, and dissipating cells on the downwind side. Ahead of or at a cold front, a line of cells may develop, forming a square line. They move with the front and bring heavy precipitation, hail, and strong winds. Supercell storms are extensive systems that move with the airflow toward the east or northeast. They are not common over the Great Plains of the United States from April to October. They are associated with a mesocyclone, a small-scale, low-pressure cell 5 to 80 kilometers in diameter, and a deep rotating updraft that is about 30% of cases leads to the formation of one or several tornadoes. They also occur in east-central Argentina and Uruguay, Bangladesh, and parts of eastern India, South Africa, eastern Australia, and eastern China, as well as occasionally in the United Kingdom and Europe. Mesoconvective system. MCS are the intermediate in scale between individual thunderstorm cells and synoptic cyclones and have a lifetime about 6 to 12 hours. Cold, high cloud drops extend over an area of 50,000 kilometers square kilometers or more. They develop as thunderstorms become clustered together either in a linear pattern, a square line, or as in amorphous elliptical cluster. They are common in spring and autumn. In mesoscale convective systems, 71, the central United States, eastern China, and South Africa, and they also occur in the tropics in India, West and Central Africa, and northern Australia. They bring severe weather with thunderstorms, heavy rain, hail, and sometimes tornadoes, especially in the U.S. Great Plains. Typically, they developed in late afternoon and last into the night. In the northern areas of eastern China, there are about 50 square miles annually, with a peak in July. In early evening, they are around 250 kilometers long, oriented southwest to northeast, and move eastward over about 5 hours. A related system that occurs in the central United States is spring-summer is the derecho, Spanish for direct, which is a linear or cellular pattern of thunderstorms with strong winds about 25 meters per second, the area extending northeast from the southern plains to the middle Mississippi Valley experiences one such event per year. 20% of cases occur each in May, June, and July. They are associated with thunderstorms that developed a forward bowl shape. The strong winds are a result of convective downdrafts or microbursts. Serial derechoes are embedded in an extensive square line hundreds of kilometers wide, while progressive derechoes are relatively narrow but travel great distances. So we're going to summarize this. So the atmospheric pressure is due to the weight of the overlying air column. Globally, there is an equatorial belt of low pressure, subtropical heights, and subpolar low. Mean sea level pressure is 1013 millibar. High pressure centers average about 1040 millibar, and mid latitude allows about 980 millibar. Winds below anti-clockwise around low heights in the northern and southern hemisphere. Geostrophic flow represents a balance between the pressure gradient force and the Coriolis force in the opposite direction due to the Earth's rotation. Wind systems transport moisture around the globe. Notably, there are well-defined systems of atmospheric rivers in the lower troposphere. Air masses are large bodies of air with considerable horizontal homogeneity of temperature and moisture conditions. They are defined by temperature, polar, tropical, and continental maritime origin. Air mass boundaries define frontal baroclinic zones. The polar frontal zone is a major feature of middle latitudes in both hemispheres. Frontal low pressure system developed along it at 3 to 7 day intervals and moved generally eastward between latitudes 40 and 60. Tropical cyclones develop from wave depressions in the tropical easterlies over waters with a surface temperature greater than equals to 27 Celsius degree. They are almost frequent in summer, autumn in the tropical eastern oceans. In the western North Pacific, they are known as typhoons, and in the western North Atlantic as hurricanes. They bring heavy rains. They very strong winds and storm surges, causing widespread damage and a loss of life. Cloud bands spiral around an inner eye 50 to 100 kilometers across where winds are light and skies may be clear. Thunderstorms develop with strong surface heating, an unstable atmosphere, and moisture, which leads to the buildup of towering cumulus and cumulonimbus clouds. They give rise to heavy precipitation, lightning, and strong winds. Thunderstorms may be single-cell, multi-cell clusters, linear squirrel cells, and supercells. Mesoscale convective systems are thunderstorm clusters with a life span of 6 to 12 hours. They are associated with severe weather, including tornadoes, and particularly affect the U.S. Great Plains in spring and summer.